Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer. Chapter 12. Leah cocked an ear to the west. Yeah, I expect we will, I agreed. So that's everything. What do we do now? She asked. She and Seth both looked at me expectantly. This is exactly the kind of thing I don't want to have to do. I guess we just keep an eye out for now. That's all we can do. You should probably take a nap, Leah. You've had as much sleep as I have. Thought you were going to do what you were told. Right, that's going to get old, she grumbled, and then she yawned. Well, whatever, I don't care. I'll run the balls of Jake, I'm not tired at all. Seth was so glad I hadn't forced them home, but it was all but prancing with excitement. Sure, I'm going to go check in with the Cullens. Seth took off along the new path worn into the damp earth. Seth looked after him thoughtfully. Maybe a round or two before I crashed. Hey Seth, want to see how many times I can lap you? No! Barking out a low chuckle, Seth lunged into the woods. Leah lunged into the woods after him. I growled uneasily. Leah was trying for Leah. She kept her jibes to a minimum as she raced around the circuits, but it was impossible to not be aware of her smug mood. I thought of the whole twos of company saying. It didn't really apply because one was plenty to my mind. If there had to be three of us, it was hard to think of anyone I wouldn't trade her for. Paul, she suggested. Maybe, I allowed. She laughed herself too jittery and hyper to get offended. I wondered how long the buzz from dodging Sam's pity would last. That would be my goal then, to be less annoying than Paul. Yeah, work on that. I changed into my other format when I was a few years on the lawn, but I hadn't planning to spend much time human here. I hadn't planned to have Leah in my head either. I pulled on my ragged shorts and started across the lawn. The door opened before I got to the steps. I was surprised to see Carlo while Edward stepped outside to meet me. His face looked exhausted and defeated. For a second my heart froze. I faltered to a stop, unable to speak. Are you alright, Jacob? Carlo asked. It's Bella. I choked out. She's much the same as last night. Did I startle you? I'm sorry. Edward said you were coming in a human form, and I came out to greet you as you didn't want to leave her. She's awake. As Edward didn't want to lose any time with her, because he didn't have much time left. Carlo didn't say the words out loud, but he might as well have. It had been a while since I slept, since before my last patrol. I could really feel that now. I took a step forward, sat down on the porch steps, and slumped against the railing. Moving whisper quiet as only a vampire could, Carlo took a seat on the same step against the other railing. I didn't get a chance to thank you last night, Jacob. You don't know how much I appreciate your compassion. I know your goal is to protect Bella, but I owe you the safety of the rest of my family as well. Edward told me what you had to do. Don't mention it, I muttered. If you prefer. We sat in silence. I could hear the others in the house. Emmett, Alice and Jasper speaking in low, serious voices upstairs. Esme humming tunelessly in another room. Rosie and Edward breathing close by. I couldn't tell which was which, but I could hear the difference in Bella's laboured panting. I could hear her heart too. It seemed uneven. It was like a fate was out to make me do everything I'd ever sworn I wouldn't in the course of 24 hours. Here I was hanging around waiting for her to die. I don't want to listen to anyone anymore. Talking was better than listening. She's family to you, I asked Carlisle. It had caught him by notice before, when he said I'd helped the rest of his family too. Yes, Bella is already a daughter to me, a beloved daughter. I'm going to let her die. It was quiet and long enough that I looked up. His face was very, very tired. I knew how he felt. I can't imagine what you think of me for that, he finally said, but I can't ignore her will. It wouldn't be right to make the choice for her, to force her. I wanted to be angry with him, but he was making it hard. It was like he was throwing my own words back at me. Just scrambled up. They sounded right before, but they couldn't be right now. Not with Bella dying. Still, I remembered how it felt to be broken on the ground under Sam, to have no choice but to be involved in the murder of someone I loved. It wasn't the same, though. Sam was wrong, and Bella loved things she shouldn't. Do you think there's any chance she'll make it? I mean, as a vampire and all that. She told me about Esme. I say there's an even chance at this point, he answered quietly. I've seen vampire venom work miracles, but there are conditions that even venom cannot overcome. Her heart is working too hard now. If it should fail, there won't be anything for me to do. Bella's heartbeat throbbed and faltered, giving me an agonizing emphasis to his words. Maybe the planet is slightly turning backward. Maybe that would explain how everything was the opposite of what it had been yesterday. How could I have been hoping for what had once seemed like the very worst thing in the world? What is the thing doing to her? I whispered. She was so much worse than last night. I saw the tubes and all that through the window. The features are incompatible with her body, too strong for one thing, but she could possibly endure that for a while. Break problem is it won't allow her to get the sustenance she needs. Her body is rejecting every form of nutrition. I'm trying to feed her intravenously, but she's just not absorbing it. Everything about her condition is accelerated. I'm watching her, and not just her, but the fetus as well, starved to death by the hour. I can't stop it and I can't slow it down. We can't figure out what it wants. His weary voice broke at the end. I felt the same way as I had yesterday when I seen the black stains across her stomach, furious and a little crazy. I clenched my hands into fists to control the shaking. I hated the way it was hurting her. It wasn't enough for the monster to beat her from the inside out. No, it was starving her too. Probably for someone to sink its teeth into, a throat to suck dry. Since it wasn't big enough to kill anyone else yet, instead of sucking Bella's life from her. I could tell exactly what it wanted. Death and blood. Blood and death. My skin was all hot and prickly. I breathed slowly in and out, focusing on that to calm myself. I wish I could get a better chance of exactly what it is, Carlisle murmured. The fetus is well protected. I haven't been able to produce an ultrasound image. I doubt there is any way to get a needle through the amniotic sac, but Rosie won't agree me to let me try just in any case. A needle, I mumbled. What would that do? The more I know about the fetus, the better I can estimate what it will be capable of. What I wouldn't give for even a little amniotic fluid, if any of the chromosal counts. You're losing me, Doc. Can you dumb it down? He chuckled once. Even his laugh sounded exhausting. Okay, how much biology have you taken? Did you just study chromosomal pairs? Think so, we have 23, right? Humans do. I blinked. How many do you have? 25. I fired my fist for a second. What does that mean? I thought it meant that our species were almost completely different, no later than a lion and a house cat. But this new life, while it suggests that we are more genetically compatible than I thought, he sighed sadly. I didn't know how to warn them. I sighed too. It was easy to hate Edward for the same ignorance. I still hated him for it. It was just hard to feel the same way about Carlisle. Maybe because there wasn't 10 shades of jealous in Carlisle's case. It might help to know what the count was, whether the fetus was closer to her or us, to know what to expect. Then he shrugged. Maybe it wouldn't help anything. I guess I just wish I had something to study, anything to do. Wonder what my chromosomes are like, I muttered randomly. I thought those Olympic steroid tests again. Did they run DNA scans? Carlisle coughed self-consciously. You have 24 pairs, Jacob. I turned to slowly stare at him, raising my eyebrows. He looked embarrassed. I was curious. I took the liberty when I was treating you last June. I thought about it for a second. I guess that should piss me off, but I don't really care. I'm sorry, I should have asked. It's okay, Doc. You didn't mean any harm. No, I promise that I did not mean any harm. It's just that I find the species fascinating. I suppose that the element of vampiric nature has come to commonplace to me over the centuries. Your family is different from humanity is much more interesting. Magical almost. Bibbity bobbity boo, I mumbled. It was just like Bella with magic garbage. Carlisle laughed a little weary laugh. Then he heard Edward's voice inside the house, and we both paused to listen. I'll be right back, Bella. I want to speak with Carlisle for a moment. Actually, Rosalie, would you mind accompanying me? Edward sounded different. There was a little life in his dead voice, a spark of something. Not hope exactly, but maybe the desire to hope. What is it, Edward? Bella asked hoarsely. Nothing to worry about, love. It will just take a second. Please, Rose. Esme, Rosalie called. Can you mind Bella for me? I heard the whisper of wind as Edward flitted down the stairs. Of course, she said.